Today's video is a viewer request based on the concept of twin flames. Thank you, USI Venus. Many people wonder, are twin flames real? And if so, how do you know if you've met yours? In this video, we'll explore what twin flames truly are, the signs that set them apart from soulmates, the challenges that often come with connection, and why not everyone has a twin flame. We'll also look at how a twin flame union can be manifested and the deeper purpose behind it. And be sure to stay with me until the end, where I'll share Spirit's guidance for those currently on a twin flame journey. Hello everyone, welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time on my channel. I'm going to hop right in with the first question for this twin flames video using Oracle, as it does not read my mind. So question 1, are twin flames real? And how can we understand them on a spiritual level? That's a pretty loaded question, right? So let's see what the cards have to respond. We have Secret Window. With Secret Window, I'm going to say that I believe the cards are saying yes, that the twin flame journey, twin flame scenario, twin flame, whatever you'd like to call it, is definitely real. I don't think a lot of people really know about it, and there's probably a lot of secrets behind it, a lot of fiction, things that aren't quite true, I guess, about it. So hopefully this will bring forth some interesting information. Kind of get rid of fantasy and fallacy. All right, so then we have Running on Empty. So apparently it's not impossible to find the path. Not impossible at all to find the secret window. We'll put it that way. And if you see in this card, okay, we have a mirror, which seems to be showing another part of the room, but yet different. Because as you see, we have paneled walls here. It looks like more of a rustic cabin here, but here where these chairs are, it does not. So it's kind of giving an indication to me that though twin flames are real, they can be very different and hard to recognize as something for you, if that makes sense. The Running on Empty card is saying you need to trust the path. If you believe in twin flames and you believe that there's something calling you, you're being pulled in a certain direction. The card is saying trust the path and slow down enough to notice the signs, because you may be being led and don't even know it. Then we have It. I think there's probably some out there who believe that this is not exactly on a spiritual level, not exactly a great place to go, not a great place to be, not to be tethered to this twin flame. It's also a possibility, too, that you met this twin flame when you were a child, and then as you grew, the memory of this twin flame just kind of faded and fogged. It's kind of there. It could be ignited again. And we have national treasure. There are people who spend a lot of time searching, seeking out their twin flames, seeking them out. Because yes, like I said, there's a memory there from childhood, perhaps, for some, okay? Not for everybody. There's a memory there, and it's foggy. You know it happened because some little bits are, and if you look at the It card, the balloons really stand out, okay? So in this case, it's like you have the memory and you have a tidbit or two that really stand out, but not enough to get rid of the rest of the fog. So you kind of find it or have put it upon yourself to make this your ultimate search for this twin flame. We have Dragon Heart, Avatar, and Lessons. And Dragon Heart is almost the perfect card, I think, for a twin flame reading. Because in Dragon Heart, if I remember correctly, I believe that there's a human and a dragon that share a heart. If something happens to one, something happens to the other. Whether or not they know they exist, they just know something happens. They feel something. They hurt. They have maybe emotions that they don't even understand where they come from. So I think this is like the perfect card. And with Avatar, this kind of gives you an idea of exactly how close a twin flame is. They may look different on the outside from you, but like with Avatar, the human is transformed into whatever these creatures are that I cannot remember, able to go into this world and be these beings. So the human persona, the human itself, still exists in the pod, but they've projected their minds into one of these bodies. So in other words, they might look different on the outside, but they're very similar to you. Very similar on the inside. That's what I'm getting from this. There are lessons definitely to be learned when it comes to twin flames. And with Secret Window, it keeps pulling me back to Secret Window. In the movie Secret Window, Johnny Depp is a writer, okay, and he's done a series of books with a character that is very similar to him. In the books, when he decides he wants to, I believe, kill off the main character because he doesn't want to keep going with this particular series of books. It's been going on for a long, long time. He wants to end this series. The character that he has built upon himself comes alive. And it's kind of a separate individual from him, but it's not the character or the character that comes alive is kind of evil. Okay, so maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of stigma here with a twin flame, is that it's not always a good being, a good person, but I don't think that's correct. It's almost like a two-way mirror. They're searching for you as much as you're searching for them. They have the same fears as you do. They have the same feelings as you do. They have, but yet somewhat different. That's where, you might have some major lessons going on here with them. So let's pull some tarot and see if we can get a little bit more. I feel like that Secret Window has more to offer, but It's kind of eluding me here. Let's see if tarot can help this out. So are twin flames real? Yes. They are pretty much a national, it's the national treasure for some. In other words, that's what they spend their lives searching for. And as for, how can we understand them on a spiritual level? It's just understanding that the hearts are connected. And, there's no way to disconnect that heart. And we would find one another, one way or another, we would find one another no matter who we are or where we are. So with tarot, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Interestingly, the Nine of Pentacles, or the Nine, is kind of a reflection. Or can indicate reflection. We have a mirror here, right? And Pentacles is about life, work. So I'm thinking that this is saying that what your life is like right now. I think that your twin flame is going to have a life very similar to yours. In other words, maybe the same interests. Maybe you're working in the same field. Maybe you have the same kind of hobbies. Maybe physically you enjoy a lot of exercise, or maybe you don't. So I'm thinking that the twin flame is going to be very much like you, almost like a reflection of self, which is why perhaps it would be easy to miss, or they would be easy to miss. And then we have Ace of Cups. It is very possible when you feel like you're getting close to finding this twin flame for your emotions to go in all different directions. And because, you're being told to notice, slow down, notice the signs, right? And trust the path. So here you are going down the path, but your emotions have free reign, okay? They're a gift. They are definitely a gift, and so is your intuition. But you would be better off keeping your emotions in check if you can, and allowing your intuition to take over for a little bit, because it's not going to be tainted in any way. Because emotions, when they take over, they can really run amok, right? But your intuition, if you're very careful and you are following the signs, it's going to lead you somewhere, for sure. Seven of Wands. Sometimes the memory, that foggy memory that you feel like you might have from childhood, from perhaps having met your twin flame before, sometimes it is a defense wall, that fog, why that fog stays. There's something about that memory. Maybe it was just so intense that it's almost kind of scary. So it's difficult to bring that memory forward, to clear the fog. Even though you tell yourself you want to, there's still something that is holding, some kind of defensive mechanism that is holding things back. Ace of Swords. Why is a twin flame a national treasure? You will never find a communication between two people with as much potential. The communication, the ideas, it's almost as though you can read one another's minds. The communication is that clear. And how you would be together would be that clear. The ideas, the communication, the belief systems, how your intellect works together. Yeah, it's all there, and it's very much worth the search. Very much worth the search. Then we have King of Pentacles. With the dragon heart, when you share a heart with someone else, when you come together, it is the ultimate completeness. King of Pentacles. Pentacles is life. And it is a stable, secure, on top of the world, have it all figured out, fantastic place to be. And it puts you at that top life level. So again, having that kind of communication and, you know, finding that individual and putting yourself, I mean, literally having yourself, your life be more stable than you've ever known. That's what it's all about. Queen of Wands. Nobody can care for you or nurture you any better than you could do yourself, than your twin flame. They are so much like you and understand so much about you that I don't think there could be any more passion than what there would be between you and that twin flame. Strength, yes. It is going to take strength because your twin flame may be wilder than you, or you may be wilder than your twin flame. It's going to take strength. And even on a spiritual level, it's giving physical aspects, mind aspects, so pretty much mental. Okay, we've got right here in the center with the Ace of Swords. Mental, emotional, right here with this Ace of Cups. The emotional implications could be insane, okay, for this. So could, and again, Ace of Swords, the communication. Physically, again, so much alike, so very much alike in the things that you've chosen in life, maybe even the way that you live. And spiritually, you share a heart. I mean, you couldn't get any more physical than that, but you also know each other no matter what. Okay? You know how to care for one another and have done so on a spiritual level for a long time. But again, it takes strength because there are differences between you. And sometimes when you're so alike, so close, it can be really, really challenging. So let us get these picked up. And for clarification here, I know nothing, and I mean nothing, about twin flames. I've never studied them. Of course, I've heard the term, okay, but I have never, ever looked into twin flames. So what you're getting is my take on what the cards are giving. So if it works for you, if it resonates, that's great. If not, just let it go. All right. Almost on to 2. All right. So question 2. What are twin flames exactly? And how are they different from soulmates or karmic partners? These are loaded questions for sure. Soulmates I've heard of. All right, so what are twin flames exactly, and how are they different from soulmates and karmic partners? Terminator. And I think what's important on this card is 314, which adds up to 8, which is an infinity sign. Okay, so my take is that twin flames are forever. Twin flames are forever. Nothing can terminate that connection. And you have roses here too, and roses are love, which, you know, is part of the heart. So going back to question 1 with Dragonheart, Stargate, okay, so I'm thinking they can be anywhere. Twin flames can be anywhere. They are forever, so, you know, but they can be, I think, any different race of people. They can be off-worlders. So they don't necessarily have to be human. And that doesn't mean they've never been human, but just so you know, they might actually be off-world, considered alien. Man on fire. They are your biggest defenders, just as you are theirs. If you ever felt like you needed something's missing, like you need to take care of something and you're just really at a loss, you don't have anything to take care of that really gives you that I really need to take care of someone idea or thought or feeling. You need that and you just don't have it, but it's plaguing you. That's part of the twin flame draw. Gladiator. Being in the center of this reading. Yeah, again, underneath Man on Fire, this gladiator is saying this person, this twin flame, will go to bat for you and give their own life for you if necessary. You would do the same. It's that much of a tight hold you have on one another. We bought a zoo. Summer. Airport 77. You will meet a lot of people in your lifetime, and everyone is unique, but there are certain ones that are so unique, okay? Really stay in your memory. And those people are very much like a twin flame where, you know, they're willing to stand up for you. This would be a soulmate, a karmic partner, somebody that you needed to learn a lesson from, okay? That you contracted with for something specific in this current lifetime, okay? A twin flame travels with you throughout wherever you go, okay? And you do the same. So in other words, if you decide to be an otherworldly being, they're going to follow you to the other world. If you are going to be on Earth and, you know, back in medieval days, they're going to follow you to medieval days. If you're going to be in modern days, and they're going to do the same. Or you could say you're doing it for them as well. Here, we're talking more about the soulmates and karmic partners. So they're just trying to clarify the difference between forever and not forever. Or buying a zoo can satiate a need for something. that it may seem unusual. With Airport 77, you've got passengers that the plane has gone down in the Bermuda Triangle and they are underwater. With a twin flame, they take your breath away. Pretty, and they make your emotions flow. You can have the same thing with a soulmate, and you can have a similar thing with a karmic partner. But again, once you've dealt with the lesson, it's time to let it go. And sometimes that's easier said than done. But with a twin flame, that loss of breath, that emotional flow, that's going to be there forever. It's a forever thing. It cannot be terminated. So let's pull some tarot here. The one question that and maybe I should write this down so I don't forget. The one question that I think I have here is, how does that connection begin? I wonder if it'll share that with us in here. All right, so here we have Page of Wands. It's almost as though this is saying that it begins with our imagination, begins with a passion. Maybe it's a love. So I'm thinking that somebody's hearing me as I'm asking that question. It's forever. And I think it starts out as an amazing passion in another lifetime. Maybe even in this lifetime. Okay? It's a passion. It's the beginning of a passion where you know each other so well. So well. And maybe it's one of those things where you get together in high school and you're together until death, okay? You know each other so well, and where when one passes away, the other one passes away hours later, a couple of days later. It's not like years, just a couple of days. Two of Cups, yes, the connection. And if you look at this card, it almost appears that these two are joined or conjoined. I don't think they are, but it kind of looks that way a little bit to me. But yes, this is the connection. It is where you follow each other, no matter what life you plan to live. You follow each other because it's forever. The Hermit. I don't think solitude is a part of this relationship. I think the passion is too much, too strong for this to ever be a solitary relationship, or the two can't be separated for too long once they've come together. Once they've recognized that twin flame, they can't be apart. So with the Hermit, they have to, since, everybody has to function on this earth, okay, they have to try to look into the wisdom that they've gained and put that together with one another to try and keep their passions at bay a little bit for the outside world. The Star. The Star card for me has always been the spirit guide, the angel, someone who helps guide us on a regular basis. And with it sitting on Gladiator, he's in the medieval times. However, he is not one to stand idly by and do nothing to try and live a life. He speaks out against things that he doesn't believe in. And he speaks out for the things that he does believe in. I think he's a huge advocate for spiritual beliefs. For those people who don't believe in twin flames and they believe in spirit guides, or they believe in fairies, or they believe in angels, things like that, if they don't believe in twin flames, you're living proof. Those who have found their twin flame are living proof. And I think shouting it out to the world, or attempting to shout it out to the world, this is who they are at that point. And I think guides have a lot to do with bringing you together in the right timing. Not sure if that made any sense, but then we have the Six of Wands. Yes, you can feel very... Well, you will recognize soulmates after a while, and you will recognize karmic partners after a while. You bought a zoo, okay? So if you've had a relationship with somebody and it was such an intense relationship, you thought sure that this was your twin flame. But it ends up being a soulmate, because this person, either you break it off or they break it off. Or if and a soulmate can be a friend also. And maybe all of a sudden that friend goes out of your life. You know that they're not, you recognize the fact at that point that they're not a twin flame, and you can harmonize yourself with that. You can, no matter what happens, you recognize them as a soulmate or a karmic partner. You learned your lesson, and they needed to go on, and so did you. You recognize that. Eight of Swords. Yeah, this is the clarity between the difference, like we said with Summer. This is the clarity between the difference between soulmates and karmic partners. You're never locked in to a relationship with a soulmate or a karmic partner after the lesson is learned, after whatever you contracted in for is taken care of. And then you will have mastered that communication, mastered that belief, mastered that ideology, so you can move on. Once you are harmonized with it, you can move on away from, the soulmates and karmic partners. That can't happen with a twin flame. Three of Cups. The growth of the emotion, the amount of emotion that comes with a twin flame. Taking the breath away. Having ups and downs of emotion. Sometimes fear, sometimes overwhelming happiness. There's a lot to it. It's a challenge. It is quite the challenge, but it's one that should be celebrated, because it's just going to keep growing. That emotion is just going to keep growing and growing, and you will be unable to be apart. It's kind of the way it is. With Dragonheart, I think they could be apart, but the heart got weaker. And I can't remember the movie that well, but that's my thinking, is how that went. Still a little confused over the Hermit and the Man on Fire here. It could just be sharing wisdom. Sharing the wisdom of the ages, because, you've lived together for a long time. You've shared many lifetimes together. You know about this twin flame. You know what it is. You do. but it can be hot regardless. It can be, well, there's going to be passion like you've never known. And again, yeah, solitary is just not in the books after you've met your twin flame. It's just not there. You're going to continue life after life after life with this twin flame. It's just how it will be. No matter where you are, whether you're medieval, on Earth, or you're somewhere in the stars. Even in spirit, I think. All right, so let us pick this up and move on to question 3 here. And if you're new to my channel and you happen to hear interesting sounds coming through my video, I have a Chihuahua. He is lying next to me in his bed, and his contribution to these readings is his snoring. And since he's a Chihuahua, he needs to be by his peeps. And I'm one of the peeps, so he needs to be by you, and so that's just how the readings are, with a little bit of Sammy contribution of snoring. Sometimes it can get pretty intense too, though. All right, so moving on to question 3. What are the true signs of a twin flame connection? What are the true signs of a twin flame connection? The Rookie. I feel like with the Rookie, this is saying it's somebody who, when you find one another, or you're searching for one another, you kind of start out feeling as though you have an interest in something and you want to give it a try. And you find out you're pretty darn good at it. So you try to go into it further and further and further. Minority Report. Okay, so again, with the Rookie, you're searching for something. You know that there's something driving you, okay? So there's something driving you. And it's just, no matter how much time goes by, it's always, always right there in the back of your mind. With National Treasure, okay? It's something that you're searching for, something that is extremely valuable to you. There's a psychic connection. Something is calling you. Someone is calling you. You are calling them. There is a psychic connection, and you can't help but want to search and find out what that is, or who that is. So signs so far, literally, are you have a driving purpose to find something. And there's a psychic pull. G.I. Jane. Failure is not an option. You won't give up. You can't give up searching. It will drive you crazy. You have to go to the ends of the earth, basically, to find what you're seeking. That's what you're willing to do. It's almost like it's a miracle. I mean, literally, what you feel is a miracle. What you finding out there's really a Santa Claus, okay? When all this time you've thought, oh, there is no Santa Claus. Finding out that Santa Claus is real is pretty amazing, okay? Same with twin flame. And I think at some point, you've got this going on where you have a drive for something, a need for something, and you know it's there, and there's some kind of psychic pull. And you just have this, it's almost like you work yourself up to get to the point where you're able to search the way that you want to. And again, National Treasure sat in this position also. But all this takes place, and it might say with the last 3 cards here, when you find out there's a twin flame out there for you. That's a miracle. It's a miracle. Now you know what what all this was about. So then we have Come and Get It, Bus Stop, and the 7th sign. Yeah, you know that this twin flame, that this is exactly what you've been feeling. And it says on this card, mighty story of warm-blooded men and women with warm lips. Okay? So we're going to call this a passion card of Come and Get It. A passion card. This is, you've been being called to this twin flame, this miracle. This person who touches your heart in a way that no one else can. It's like it's biblical. It is, all these signs lead you to this twin flame connection. So let us see what Tarot has to say. It's always something that Tarot has to add. And I'm always going back to, with National Treasure right here. A treasure that you're looking for. And again, failure is not an option. You couldn't ignore these feelings, this driving need or this psychic pull. You couldn't ignore it if you wanted to. Then we have 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is the seed. It was planted when you two first became, well, with the page, I believe it was the Page of Wands, right? When your passion first began. In whatever lifetime that was what planted the seed, which has grown into this tree. And keeps this driving purpose, this driving need to find whatever it is alive. The Fool. You still, every lifetime is an adventure, okay? But that psychic pull always feels new in every lifetime that you have. That psychic, and you think you're crazy. You don't understand. And don't ask me to try and explain what a psychic pull is. These are the words that are coming out of my mouth, but I don't know how to explain a psychic pull. So if you can explain a psychic pull, please let me know in the comments. That would be very helpful. I just know that that's what it feels like to me as a psychic pull. And it's brand new in every life. But it goes along with this driving purpose. It's going to be there every single time. And you're going to jump for it every single lifetime. The Sun. It is the ultimate clarity, for sure. It is the ultimate warmth. It is the ultimate light. Only by striving forward to find whatever this is, you know that when you do, you'll know it. You'll know it. It'll shine like a beacon for you. That twin flame will shine like a beacon for you, and you will for them as well. Three of Pentacles. I think all this is saying is that a lot went into planning this. A lot goes into planning each life so that the two of you come back together again. And life begins to grow once the miracle is discovered. And the miracle, again, is finding out that there is such a thing as a twin flame. It's almost as though the words twin flame throw a light bulb on in your mind, and that's when the search begins. That's when you realize that, oh wow, that's what all this has been about all this time. But it takes a lot of people, a lot of spirits, a lot of planning before you're ever born as to how you are all going to come together for this miracle, or when you're going to hear the words twin flame. It all has to be set up beforehand, because whatever it is that you need to do individually before you meet in this lifetime has to be taken care of before you meet one another, or you'll never take care of your own life path, because you're inseparable. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, this is where your balance, if you felt off balance, this is part of, because you're missing that passion. You're missing that connection. Devil. The search may even cause you to feel like you're never going to find that person. It might make you feel very vulnerable to, well, I'm going to say sad thoughts. Very vulnerable to sad thoughts. Oh, I'm never going to meet, my twin flame. It's just, they're not really out there. It's all in my mind. That's the Devil card taking away your power. Okay, you are meant to meet this person. You are. They're first and foremost in your mind, even though you really have no idea who they are at this point. Okay, but you know that they will bring you balance. You know things. You just have to keep the negative thoughts out of your mind, because that can slow down the progress. Then we have Knight of Wands. Yeah, it's like biblical here. And the Knight of Wands is like active passion, active imagination. You know when you meet this twin flame that it's going to be biblical to you. It is every time. It is every time you come together in a lifetime. It is biblical, and the passion is unbelievably active. So, what are the true signs of twin flame connection? Again, having that niggling something in your mind going, or a need to find something specific, something that is, it's there, it's there, it's growing, it's huge, it's in your mind, but it's affecting your life. And this psychic pull and this strength, this need to set out on difficult journeys to find something, which ends up being the twin flame miracle. All right, so let us pick these up and move on to question 4. There are 10 questions in this reading. It's interesting. Like I said, I don't know anything about twin flames, so it is interesting what I'm seeing in these cards. And if it takes a little bit longer for me to interpret something, bear with me, because I really have to try and put the pieces together on something I've never heard of or never dug into. We'll put it that way. Okay, so question 4. How can one recognize if they are currently in a twin flame relationship? And remember how I said with one of the questions that, it can be, well, question 2 was about soulmates and karmic partners. So how do you know that you're actually currently in a twin flame relationship and not a soulmate relationship or a karmic partner relationship? I'm assuming that's what this means. Don't fear the Reaper. Okay, excuse me. One of the things on Don't Fear the Reaper card is called Love Eternal. This is literally no fear of losing that person. Doesn't even cross your mind that it's possible. Once you find them, it doesn't even cross your mind that it's possible for you to lose them to someone else, or if you would happen to lose them to death, you know that you're going to come back together very, very soon. You know this. There is no doubt in your mind. So there's no fear, no normal relationship type fear. And it also says releasing fear on here. 39 steps. With a twin flame, and what I feel like I'm getting from this is, or I should say with the soulmate or the karmic partners, relationships start brand new or seem to start brand new and work their way up in, increments, like steps, till it reaches a certain point. And again, if it's a soulmate and you've had a contract and you've dealt with your contract, they may very well walk away. They may have a lesson to teach you of some sort. And this card has to do with, I think, red drum. If you've seen The Shining, you understand that word. Has to do with that. So it's like that it's going to end. You just know it. Whereas here, you have absolutely no doubt that you'll never lose this person. Here, you're just not sure. The climb up the steps can be very rigorous in a soulmate and karmic partner relationship. Not seeing that with twin flames. Your frequencies are so matched, so amazingly matched. In other relationships, like here, the frequencies might be a little bit off, which means, your communication may not be all that great, or physically you may not quite, match, or you have totally different beliefs, things like that. But with the twin flame, everything is going to mesh in the most beautiful way. Your frequencies are almost identical. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. It's magic. You will feel the magic. And I know it says Chamber of Secrets, but sometimes not all of the card is worth using, okay? In this case, it is literally just magic, and it's in the middle. It's the main card. It's the present. It's in the middle. It's just magic. You'll recognize the magic. You'll recognize the never worrying or fearing, the relationship will fall apart, because it just won't. And you'll recognize the fact that you know each other so well. You just mesh with the emotions. You mesh with the calm. It isn't like other relationships that you've had. Inner space. Fear. The Village. This person knows you inside out. You know them inside out. You could, in fact, probably be donor matches, would be my guess, for kidneys, or, you could, lungs, whatever. You're that close, that connected, that much the same. Kind of like the reflection card that we had for Secret Window here. Kind of like that. You are that much alike, that magical. Your frequencies match that well. And again, here we have the fear card. There is no fear. If there's fear, you know that it probably, if you're worried about, oh geez, my partner went out and they're gone an extra 15 minutes or whatever, and you're thinking in your head, oh geez, I wonder if they're having an affair. Okay, if thoughts like that are coming to mind, it's not your twin flame. And with the Village, this is a card of you would do anything for your twin flame. Whereas maybe with a soulmate or a karmic partner, you might actually say no to certain things. But if this was your twin flame, you would do anything for that person. And as for instance, in the movie The Village, there's creatures in the woods, and the village people have a peaceful kind of relationship with these creatures, as long as they don't go in the woods. However, when one of the girls gets sick, the boy who loves her is going to risk going into those woods to get medicine, no matter what. Doesn't matter what happens to him. He's going to get her medicine and save her life. And that's the mentality that goes with the twin flame. And, a lot of relationships start out that way. It's what's termed the honeymoon stage. Okay, but in this case, there would be nothing that would stop these people from doing something for one another. So let us move into tarot here. So how can one recognize if they are currently in a twin flame relationship? And this kind of gave you specifics. No fear. You know that you're going to be together forever. There's no doubt in your mind. Soulmate and karmic partnerships are more like this, where the climb is hard, really hard, and the honeymoon stage is there, but then the honeymoon stage kind of dies and you don't feel like you're communicating very well, and so on and so forth. Here, your communication is incredible. You are always on the same page. Always feeling, just always on the same page. And it is so magical. You know this person. just as well as you know yourself. Just as well. If you have fear, it's probably like this. And you are willing to do whatever it takes beyond the call of duty, beyond anything you would ever imagine for that twin flame and them for you. All right, so we have Four of Wands. Yeah, you are home. This person is home for you. Six of Pentacles. Yeah, this relationship, the soulmate and karmic partners relationship, and I guess we are kind of talking romance here, it feels good for a little while. It's in harmony for a little while. And then you find yourself drifting back to the beginning going, well, I wish it was still like that. Then you know it's probably not a twin flame relationship. Knight of Pentacles. Everything feels rhythmic. Very rhythmic. Slow, comfortable, rhythmic. Seven of Swords. There are no surprises. Again, you know one another so well, yet there's still room for growth. Definitely still room for growth. And 7 is, well, the 4 and the 3 together. You've got growth, the stable growth of the mind. You can still grow with each other. But it's so magical. You're learning things you never thought that you would learn with anyone. 3 of Pentacles. Again, it takes a while to set this up. To set up this life together, for meshing you together. But I think it gets to a point that even without this, even without the 3 of Pentacles, which again is growth, more growth, okay? I think that you would find one another after so many lifetimes. There wouldn't need to be this. Death. So if you're having this kind of fear, if you are afraid of this person, if you are afraid that they're having an affair, if you are afraid that they're going to leave you, if you are afraid, then it's time to realize that that relationship is not the twin flame relationship. And you can work on transforming that. Totally, there's no saying that a relationship like this is going to end in a bad way. It may not. You may live forever together until death do us part kind of thing. But things would need to change, transform. 9 of Pentacles. Yes, this is like the ultimate life. The reflection. They feel exactly about you as you do about them. And that's the life. You will live that kind of life together. All right, so let us get these picked up and move on to question 5. Putting the cards away like this helps in the shuffle part of things. If repeat cards are going to come out, they're going to come out because they're supposed to, not because I didn't shuffle. Since there's not a lot of shuffling, only little bits and pieces, we want to make sure that that's how it works. All right, so question 5. Why do some people have a twin flame and others do not? That's a loaded question, right? Why do some people have a twin flame and others do not? War of the Worlds. Gonna have to pull another one on this. Cat people. Okay, I feel like the idea of twin flames, or twin flames themselves, I feel as though they came to be through, dare I say, a war of the worlds? As though something happened to a world, several worlds, Earth. Something happened, and people who were meant to be together were separated. And this could have been specifically, a certain kind of race, perhaps, that's what their life was on their planet, was you would link up with a mate, kind of like, geese, swans. They mate for life. And if they lose their mate, they never mate again. And sometimes they don't survive. Okay, so a planet kind of like that was invaded by people that had no good intentions in mind. Okay, they just needed to own the planet or own the people. Okay, I feel like these people were separated somehow. Indestructible man, but the connection that they carried, that electric connection, that needing to mate for life, could not be destroyed, was not destroyed. They might have been separated and gone to different planets, or maybe one was killed and the other one was taken off planet. Whatever the case happens to be, that electric emotion, that connection could not be severed no matter what. It's what perhaps this race of people was like. The Great Escape. So yeah, regardless of what happened to this planet, okay, even if somebody passed on, or one of the couple passed on and the other one got taken off planet, whatever the case happens to be, their escape from this was the fact that they knew that their connection could not be severed. So no matter what happened to them in any lifetime, okay, coming back together, their great escape was coming back together in spirit. Daytime Wife, American Pie, Blazing Saddles. Yeah, there was no replacing the person, no replacing that mate with anyone else. People try. Okay, those who have twin flames, they do try. But it never really works. Excuse me. The music doesn't play the same with American Pie. The music does not play the same with a replacement kind of person. And don't get me wrong, okay? You don't know that it's a replacement person. You don't know that it's a soulmate or a karmic partner and not your twin flame, okay? You don't know that when you begin the relationship unless you're really in tune, as a lot of what these cards has given is saying, okay? Just because this relationship isn't like this doesn't mean it's not meaningful. Do not take it that way. However, from the heart, the connected heart, remember Dragon Heart was here? From the connected heart, the music doesn't play the same. There's music, but it's not the heart song. Okay? Fact of the matter is, these people had no defense against these cat people. And don't take this as people who have cats. That's not the point here. Okay, but yeah, they had no defense. So basically the great escape here was a different lifetime. Okay? It is the way that these twin flames can now work with being separated with one another. They know that they will come together again in spirit and will eventually meet each other in another lifetime should they choose to be reincarnated. Okay? So I guess what this is saying when it says, why do some people have a twin flame and others do not, is that not everybody came from whatever this world was. But for those who did, they have twin flames. And, the population of that world could have been huge. So, as numbers here, let's say the world had 1,000, okay? And I'm going low on numbers purposely, okay? The world had more than that, but as an example, 1,000 people on that world. And of those 1,000 people, 500 of them got separated and 500 of them did not. It doesn't matter, okay? Because eventually, either way, that 1,000 people is going to pass on and go back to spirit and start all over again, right? That would mean there's 1,000 people here on Earth or other planets or whatever that would be searching for that twin flame. So if there's, 500 million people on that planet, then there's going to be 500 million people on Earth and other planets, other wherever, that are going to be looking for that twin flame. So it's not going to be everybody. It just depends on how many people were on that particular planet. All right. It's kind of where the numbers are determined, or, yeah. All right. So we have the Empress. That was a very unique creation. The twin flame mating for life planet. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, it was definitely something new. And when it was taken over, I think these cat people, they didn't understand any of this, nor did they really care, okay? They did know it was a new way to live, for sure, but it wasn't necessarily what they themselves were looking for, and I think it just made them just creeped out. So when people are creeped out over something, what do? They can destroy it, they destroy it. Yeah. Even though they became separated, that connection couldn't be destroyed, which is something these cat people just didn't realize, that it was impossible. And the Great Escape is starting all over again, starting a new life adventure. Knight of Swords, actively attempting to get to know people, actively communicating to the best of your ability to see if the person you're communicating it with is your twin flame or just, the daytime wife or husband kind of thing. Nine of Swords. When the heart song doesn't sing, really truly sing, and the other cards where it says how can one recognize if they are currently in a twin relationship, that last question, and it talked about the frequency, and it talked about in the first one, dragon heart, if the hearts are connected, there is no anxiety over a relationship. There's only the music, the heart song. And if there's anxiety and the music doesn't play, probably, or at least doesn't play the song you feel is the true song, then it's probably not your twin flame. Nine of Pentacles with blazing saddles. No matter what, life turns out for twin flames, regardless of all of this. It turns out they end up being on top of the world after all, because they will come together. And again, that's something that these people did not understand. It might have been a new thing, somebody created a new race of people who, yeah. So if you do not have a twin flame, it is because you are not from this planet, this particular planet, that somehow people were matched up and they're mates forever and forever. All right, so I've got all these noises today with my recordings on the computer, and my phone is kind of doing the buzzing sound. I don't know if you can hear that or not, and I do have it turned way down, but still has the buzzing, and Sammy snoring, and it's just one of those crazy days. All right, so now we're going to move on to number 6. All right. So number 6, what lessons or soul growth are twin flames meant to bring into each other's lives? What lessons or soul growth are twin flames meant to bring into each other's lives? Michael. Something unique, beautiful, not perfect, but something very unique and beautiful. Truth, reality. Trust. Forbidden planets. All the things that would normally be forbidden in a relationship, That's what lessons in soul growth twin flames are supposed to bring to each other. Nothing is forbidden. Nothing. The Guardian. It's a feeling of safety. Also, a feeling that when you're with this person, you can never be harmed. I mean, we're looking at an angel here with Michael. Okay? He's an angel. He's not a saint, according to this card. He was definitely, but he was an angel, and he was going back to heaven. He had things to do on earth, for sure. Okay? In a relationship, all the things of an angel, like I was listing off, the trust and the love, and if you remember, he smelled like baked goods or something like that, and he could attract people because of that. So many different aspects of whatever your idea of an angel is, what an angel, if it's your guardian angel, whatever that is, it's a special relationship like no other, and nothing is forbidden. You can talk about anything, you can do anything, you can believe in anything. There's no judgment, okay? With the Guardian, you are safe with this person. You are safe. And they may, in fact, save your life. Maybe that's how the two of you come together. That may be one of those things. Maybe you're in need of learning trust. That's what they're here for. They save your life. You trust them. I'm not saying everybody's twin flame situation is that way, but we're looking at this. Passengers. If the two of you were on a transport in outer space, like they are in passengers here, you would be fine. You would be absolutely fine being the only two people alive, the only two people awake. You would be fine with this. Patriot. iRobot. Avatar. You're going to believe in the same things and be willing to fight for the same things. There is, as with some relationships, there is no, excuse me, I have something in my eye. As with some relationships, they're very robotic, very routine, very robotic. This relationship is not that, okay? This relationship is teaching you through everything, okay? What lessons or soul growth are twin flames meant to bring into each other's lives? All the aspects of what an angel would be. All the love, the trust, the warmth, the safety, the joy, the everything that humans should be. Love, not hate, so on and so forth. There's nothing forbidden that is allowed to be taught between twin flames. Nothing forbidden, okay? They need to trust one another. And they know that they can be alone together and everything is fine. Everything would be fine. They believe and fight for the same things. They're not boring, routine. There's nothing like that between them. Nothing. So the growth that they require, the lessons, are to learn this is who they are. This is what their relationship is. and they can't fight it. They can't. Any more than, was it Jake, could fight wanting to be permanently in an avatar body and to be with the girl that he met there. There is nothing that he can do to stop that want, that need, and eventually it does happen for him. All right, so let's see what Tarot has to add here. These kinds of aspects, I mean, granted, you know, the frequencies and everything are the same in twin flames, and there's, you know, they're reflections kind of one another, things like that, but it doesn't mean that the upbringing that they have hasn't tainted some of how they believe and the things they feel and things like that. We're all individuals regardless, okay? So these are all things that need to be learned until they get to the area of perfection with twin flames. So we have strength. Yes, it takes, whereas on the, I feel like on War of the Worlds, there was no effort with these couples that were brought together for the purpose of being mates for life. They were perfectly matched in every way, shape, or form. And that's how they functioned. Okay, but once they were separated and they were raised by different people and in different communities and things like that, they had to come together in different ways. And I think it takes a lot of strength once you meet your twin flame to realize that a lot of that, you know, everything that you've lived with before that, it really doesn't count for much. There's no comparison. Maybe I should say it like that. And then we have Three of Wands. Yeah, there's nothing forbidden. Anything that you could possibly imagine. Any growth that your mind might have for, oh, I wonder if. Yeah, there's nothing forbidden. Nothing at all. Seven of Pentacles. The tree has to grow. The trust has to grow. Well, as I said, you know, a seven of Pentacles is what this card is. A 3 and a 4, you've got growth and you've got stability. So that's a tree. Tree grows, it's stable. That's the seed that gets planted, the seed that needs to be flourished, continue to flourish. Trust, that's huge. Knight of Wands. Yeah, having an active imagination. Active passion, active imagination. If your passenger's all alone on a spaceship, like with passengers here, those two things alone would make time go by quite nicely. Ace of Wands. Both passionate about their beliefs, what they're willing to fight for, but they're passionate about a lot of things. It's kind of unlimited. There's been a lot of different lives going on, right? They've lived a lot of different lives, a lot of different ways, slowly coming together, hopefully, in each and every life. So they have a lot of different beliefs to share. A lot of things. The World. Yeah, most of the world, most people, they live this routine, robotic kind of life. That is not a twin flame life. Not at all. I don't think they would survive in a twin flame life like this. No. Not for long anyway. And we have the Devil. Yeah, there are those who would definitely like to steal the power of the twin flames, who would like to step in. Say you have found your twin flame. There's nothing that can pull the two of you apart, but there's always outside influences that try very hard to separate you. because they want what you have. And that's kind of what was happening on Avatar too. So yeah, that's the Devil card. People want what you have. All right, so let us get picked up here. And as you can hear, Sammy is really going for broke now. He must be sleeping so sound. You might hear him cough occasionally. I think he snores so hard that he makes his throat dry, and yeah. All right. We're learning a lot here, for sure. I'm learning a lot. So those of you who are versed in twin flames, I'd love to hear how much of this reading is accurate, I guess. Well, accurate to what you know. There's always possibilities of new things, but yeah. All right, so number 7, what are the possible challenges in a twin flame connection? What are the possible challenges? Dreamweaver. I'm taking this almost as being willing to accept that you found your twin flame. Yeah, willing to defend that, defend that thought that you have found your twin flame, no matter what other people think. And again, we have, the challenges can be other people, as I said before, trying to get in the way of your relationship, trying to destroy what you've created with one another. Steel Magnolias. I can say too with Dreamweaver, this is almost not, for some it might be having a difficult time embracing the fact that you found your twin flame. That is a possibility. Yes, it is. But we're talking about challenges here, possible challenges in a twin flame connection. And I feel like this is saying that realizing how close you actually are and being able to live that mystical journey. Okay, being able to live the mystical journey, because there's always people out there that think they know best, that they can do things better than you can, and trying to destroy the relationship that you have out of perhaps jealousy because they want to have what you have, or just because they don't have what you have. they must destroy. And there's always family and friends who think they know best. Their hearts are in the right place. They are, but they can't see what you see. And look at the colors on this card. They can't see what you can see. How absolutely beautiful this journey is. Don't look back. Yeah, one of the challenges is going forward with this amazing relationship without worrying about these kinds of things, and just embracing it for all you're worth. And it's in the center, right? But, that can be challenging. Like we talked about before, there's different ways that we've grown up. Let's say twin flames do not come together until, I don't know, their 30s. From birth until 30, there's a lot of things that happen to each and every person, good and bad. There's always baggage. So getting to this point, to love this point and not worry about this, that's not easy. Touch of evil. Lean on me. And people got to be free. Yeah, there are some out there that are, just, that's what they want to do, is just destroy what they see that's beautiful because they're so jealous. They literally, it is a touch of evil. They're so jealous. They just can't stand it. Part of, to overcome the challenge of these kinds of people, okay? And it's always going to be people that is going to be the biggest challenge for twin flames, not each other, okay? Twin flames lean on one another. They have mutual support. They're never truly alone. And yeah, they can support one another. And they can do so and may have to do so simply because it's going to take some time before people really, really understand or don't try to condemn the kind of love that twin flames have. You'll have people, family members maybe saying, oh, well, it's not healthy for you guys to be together 24/7. You have to go out and do this and you have to go out and do that. And there's always people trying to tear apart two people who just want to be together and should be free to be together. So let us see what tarot has to say. We have Judgment. Yeah, this is a calling. You twin flames are called together. That is all there is to it. That's the fact. They are called together. It is a mystical, magical journey. Seven of Pentacles. But unfortunately, the seeds that have been planted in much of humanity that do not have twin flames, do not understand the aspect of the twin flame mentality, that seed has grown as well. Okay, so that you have those who their sole goal is to destroy what they can't have. Five of Cups, yes, these individuals will do everything that they can to upset the emotions, upset the twin flame people, upset all of that. Make it as chaotic as possible. Oh, it can't possibly be like this. The Empress. But it is up to the twin flames to embrace this call and to create the life that they want and deserve and forget about the rest. Ten of Swords, yep. There are people who will go to horribly desperate lengths with this Ten of Swords to and Touch of Evil to tear apart a twin flame relationship. Eight of Wands. What they don't realize is that twin flames, again, can lean on each other. It is mutual support. They're never alone. Never. And with the Eight of Wands, their relationship has already been on the fast track, so to speak. So they've pretty much mastered their passion for one another. And it's not just passion like on a sexual nature. They have mastered passion in all aspects of passion. Seven of Swords, yeah, there's people that want to steal what twin flames have. It's the biggest challenge. Nobody really knows why necessarily that they want to steal it. They just want to steal it. But the fact is, people got to be free, as this card says, and eventually love versus hate is going to win. Freedom to do as you please is going to win eventually. Just have to, for the time being, twin flames really have to, follow the lean on me and follow their calling regardless of what people say. All right, so we're going to be moving on to number 8. All right, so what strengths or blessings come from a twin flame union? What strengths or blessings come from a twin flame union? People got to be free again. All right, so learning how to be free with one another, learning, and with the card that was here before with Dreamweaver, learning to enjoy that mystical, magical ride, that journey, that beautiful journey. Learning to embrace that dream. We bought a zoo. Having experiences that you may never have dreamed of having. I mean, maybe your twin flame has, a love for animals, and you've just never really, you yourself have never had that experience. But because it's your twin flame, the experience is going to be amazing. So buying a zoo is exciting. So you embracing the unusual. Being able to be your authentic self is a blessing for this twin flame union. So freedom, uniqueness, authentic self. These are all strengths and blessings. Having that psychic connection, no one can break. There's the Avatar card again. Being so much alike. And in Shambhala, the life is just glorious. Glorious. No more worrying about people stealing your energy. That's not what a twin flame does. They do not steal your energy. They enhance your energy as you do theirs. They bring you to a place that is amazing in life. In all ways. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, in all ways. It's Shambhala. It is love at its ultimate most. Sorry about that. I went to do this and had it turned upside down, or not upside down, but face first. Okay. Temperance. They offer a balance like no other. Transformation. Yes, they transform. A twin flame relationship, they will transform one another by sharing the experiences that they do. Strength. There it is again. Yes, they can be their authentic selves. They are tame with one another. They're okay with that. Seven of Wands. Yeah, that is their psychic defense. That psychic connection is their defense, but they do not have to defend themselves from their twin flame. No, they don't. That psychic defense, or the psychic connection, is a defense against people who would like to tear them apart. Five of Wands. They cannot, because of the relationship that they have, nobody can move them around like pawns on a chessboard. They can't. It's not even possible to do. These two people are so connected. Nine of Swords. Yeah, nothing, no worries, no anxiety, no nothing can get in the way of this beautiful relationship. Queen of Swords. Yeah, the truth of it is they're in love. They know one another. They know one each other's minds. They nurture and care for one another, and they watch out for one another. There is nobody that can take that from them. They cannot take that life force from a twin flame relationship. All right, so moving on to number 9. All right, number 9. How can someone align themselves or manifest a union with their twin flame? How can someone align themselves or manifest a union with their twin flame? Recognizing all the things that we talked about in the previous questions, such as that pull, that psychic pull, and it had the Rookie card here. Whatever that drive is, that you just need to do something, to find something. It's you're being driven to do so. Being suspect of anything that doesn't make you feel that way. If, somebody, do you feel that way about someone that you just meet? War of the Worlds. To be able to align, you have to have been from that planet. Otherwise, you do not have a twin flame. The Green Mile. If you are from that planet, you have a psychic ability that, again, it is the pull. absolute pull towards something beautiful, someone. I'm going to do that again because I don't like that. That split was a little too hesitant. Okay, there we go. The X-Files. You have to recognize. Okay, all relationships are suspect until you know. Okay? Until you recognize the different, well, like Michael. Remember, Michael was in this position too. Until you begin recognizing those things, okay? You have to know that you're from this planet. If you're not, you do not have a twin flame. You need to feel that psychic pull. It's like an X-Files. The truth is out there, but it's that kind of a mystery. Sometimes really difficult to find that person, that twin flame, but not impossible. Out of the past, Princess Bride, signs. Okay, so we're looking for how can someone align themselves or manifest a union with their twin flame. So these are things that need to be recognized. And also, there are things from your past lives that need to also be recognized. And perhaps that is recognizing a person that you are considering having a relationship with. But basically, the ultimate thing is what is termed true love. The Princess Bride is a movie about true love. And that is what twin flames have, is true, pure love. And with signs, you're going to have to pay attention, and the signs, definitely the signs, all the things that we've talked about in these questions, all the things that it's shared about twin flames and, being in each other's lives and what the connection is and how to currently tell, that kind of thing. All right. You need to pay attention to the signs. So let's see if it'll offer here a little more information, because this isn't really answering the how can someone manifest. It is to some degree. Letting you know that it is definitely possible, but you have to be from that world and sometime. I mean, you may have had 100 lives, 400 lives since being on that world, but you had to have come from there originally. You have to believe in true love. That's another huge thing. You have to believe in past lives. That's another huge thing. Not everybody does. So we have the High Priestess. Yeah, there's secrets behind the curtain. Not everything is going to just blare up in your face so that you can go out in a crowd and pick out your twin flame. It isn't like that. It is not like that. But there is magic there. There is magic to be had. You have psychic abilities. You have other people who have psychic abilities, like card readers and crystal ball scryers and so forth, that you could utilize if you chose, to see if they can give you any clue as to where your twin flame may be. The Emperor. This was your world. It's where it all began. The Devil. Yeah, there are those who would like to tell you that psychic abilities are bad, okay? But in this case, with the twin flames, that psychic pull is what is going to bring you together. And it is nothing to be afraid of. King of Pentacles with the X-Files. If you want to get to that life, if you want to be with that twin flame, okay, You need to believe in the impossible. What other people say is impossible. You need to believe. We're talking about manifesting or aligning. You need to believe. Remember the X-Files. You need to believe. Hanged Man, if you don't believe in reincarnation, you need to take on a whole new perspective. If that means going out and doing some past life regression and things like that to try and determine who you were in past lives, who you ended up with, so on and so forth, you may have to do that. But it's important. Again, this is, you need to believe. It's right smack in the center. Ace of Swords. True love. There's nothing in the mind. The mind has unlimited potential, but so does the heart. So a little bit of logic, a little bit of emotion, balance the two. You can, obviously it may fall apart when you meet your twin flame and you may have to find your balance in one another, but again, it's logic and heart, logic and emotion. They have to work together. The Lovers, your choice card. If you really want to find your twin flame, you talk to your guides. Here's with the High Priestess. You talk to your guides. You ask them to give you signs to bring you to your twin flame or to get you closer, or tell them that you want to meet your twin flame, and the ball will get rolling. You may not meet them for 10 years, but it takes time to put all the planning into place. So if you want to manifest it and you want to align yourself in that way, you have to believe it's possible. And you have to be from that world. So let's go on to the very, very last question here. Okay, almost there. Oop, forgot that one. All right. Question 10. What guidance does Spirit offer for those on the twin flame journey right now? So I'm assuming this is the question that says if you have found your twin flame. If you have found your twin flame. Or maybe it'll say that, you know, you're searching for that national treasure. Let's see what the cards tell us, if this is where this is going. Remember the great escape. Even if you're separated, you're going to come back together in spirit. That's the great escape. This is guidance from Spirit, remember. The Butcher's Wife. In the story is the split apart. Okay, she tells the story about the split apart, which was something with Plato, Plato writings or something like that. Anyway, it was fiction, from what I understand, with Plato. But same premise here is that the split apart came together. She found her twin flame in the movie. She found her twin flame. Not at first, but she did. She realized the pull. She realized there were magical things that were happening, signs that were taking place. So those things will happen. Spirit says they will happen. You're going to have things happen like that. Twin flames will come together. The frequency, and it's in the same position it was in a previous question. The frequency will, and communication will be phenomenal, like nothing you've ever experienced. Roadhouse. The road might be rocky to some degree as you get to know each other and as all that baggage slowly gets healed and thrown out, okay? You're building something beautiful, is what Spirit says. You're building something beautiful. Age of Aquarius, let the sun shine in. Short circuit. And Hidalgo. Age of Aquarius, let the sun shine in. It's time. It is time to go through all this healing, to start recognizing. And right now, the Age of Aquarius, the timing is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Take in as much knowledge, input from your twin flame as you can, if in fact you've met your twin flame. Otherwise, go back to the last question and get as much information as you possibly can from your spirit guides, from any outside help, any higher self-help that you can possibly get to point you in the direction of that twin flame. Pay attention to that psychic pull. And patience with yourself is very, very important. Patience with yourself. Twin flames aren't born together. At least not most of the time. It might be a rarity, but they're not born together. It takes time. If you've never seen The Butcher's Wife, you should. But it takes time. Okay, so we're going to work on tarot. If something is a little strange here, it's because my electricity went out right as I was going for the tarot here, and I had to restart my computer and check and see if the reading had even been saved. I'm hopeful. I think it was. All right, because it cut off very abruptly. So let's see what tarot has to say for this last question. All right, so Ace of Wands. The potential for coming back together, the ways that twin flames will come back together, there's no limit to that. It depends on the lifetime, obviously. What kind of lives they're living, that kind of thing. But again, the Great Escape is coming together at the tail end in spirit. Six of Swords, yes. Peace of mind, that's my peace of mind card. Split aparts, as she calls them in The Butcher's Wife, are going to come back together. Every lifetime, I don't know that for sure, okay? But I think most lifetimes would be my guess. Three of Swords, yeah, Three of Swords for many is betrayal, deceit, that kind of thing. And when we talk about communication, frequency, being as beautiful as it is between twin flames, this is growth of the mind for me. Threes are growth, sword is the mind, communication, etc. Growth of communication is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. Yes, you're building a beautiful life together. Road might be bumpy, but you're building a beautiful life together. The Empress. Yep, this is the time for creation. This is the time for making something beautiful. Strength. it'll take a lot of strength to work with your twin flame, as we've talked about. But again, despite any obstacles, you are building a beautiful life together, an absolutely phenomenal life together. So it will be well worth it. And you're kind of taming one another's beast, so to speak. Taming the baggage that came. 10 of Cups. This is the ultimate complete love card, or let's just say true love. Okay, true love card is the 10 of Cups. That is where the love is as high as it can possibly be. And it's just saying have patience. You will get there. Twin flames, that's just the way it is. That's what they're meant to be. True love. Remember the Princess Bride over here where Short Circuit is? Yeah. So that's where that works. So that's the deeper look into twin flames. What they are, why they matter, and the lessons they bring into our lives. So thank you again, USI Venus, for requesting this reading. If this resonated for you, let me know in the comments whether you believe you've met your twin flame or if you're still searching. Or even if you are from that one, believe you are from that specific planet that we talked about in this reading. And if there's a subject you would like me to cover in a future video, drop your ideas below along with a few questions on the topic so I can put together a clear and coherent reading for you. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you made it to the end here, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.